What's up everybody, it's me E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews, and today we're gonna review Crawl. Okay, let's do a quick intro. A young woman is caught up in a Category 5 hurricane and tries to save her father, who's trapped in a flooding house. Problem is, there are a bunch of gators around and they're all crazy. Enough of that, let's get right into the good.
The good.
I think the best thing about Crawl is just how practical everything is in the film. First off, we can talk about the setting of the film. The Florida location already sets the audience to believe that major hurricanes can happen. Not only that, but the notion of alligators being around in Florida isn't that far-fetched either. Plus, the film finds a very good way to combine many of these natural factors in a very convincing way. The blending of the weather and the terrifying presence of alligators created a sense of never-ending suspense and thrills from beginning to end. I thought it was really clever to have the natural elements come together in an authentic way that created a crazy amount of terror for the characters to face. Every time you think one hurdle was crossed, another challenge was presented to continually raise the stakes. Best of all, the incredible situations that the characters had to deal with didn't come without some type of risk or reward. There were some major consequences for many of the decisions of the characters, and that in itself continued to pile on to just how real this movie felt. Now, of course, the main attraction with this movie is gonna come from the alligators, and they do happen to be the most intriguing characters in the movie. The gators in this film will definitely create a unique sense of horror the more you learn about them. I appreciated how the movie took the time to kind of like educate us on the behaviors of alligators, because it really emphasized the sense of urgency at any given situation. There were some great moments in the movie where the alligators acted exactly the way they would in the wild. For example, alligators really do lie in wait and quickly strike at their prey. So for the sake of this film, by using that natural behavior, the jump scares in this movie work incredibly well. None of the danger in this movie felt forced, and that added a serious level of chills in the film. Also, as an added bonus, Crawl even supplies a very grounded motivation for the alligators, so they don't just come off to be some random plot device. Okay, enough of that, let's get into the bad.
The bad.
I think a minor issue with this film is just how predictable the plot can be, to an extent. For instance, right off the bat, we're told about how the main character is an athletic swimmer. That, of course, is a huge and obvious foreshadowing that lets us know just how convenient it is that this story just so happens to center around her. I don't think that this level of foreshadowing ruins the movie, but it does take a bit more time than necessary to communicate this message to the audience, when we probably could have just gotten the same idea across in a much more condensed fashion. Another minor issue is with the main character Haley, and that's when she kind of made a couple dumb decisions. You'll know the moments that I'm referring to you when you see them, but they're basically those moments where you roll your eyes and then yell at the movie screen or the character. I mean, let's just say there's a certain time to check your phone and there's a certain time not to. I think the reason why this was a bit problematic is because subconsciously, you're probably thinking that this poor decision making by the character is only in the movie to create a scary moment. That, of course, works contrary to the practicality that the movie is striving for by trying to make things realistic. Thankfully, these type of moments were only few and far between, and for the most part, Haley does make up for it by making smarter decisions throughout the movie. Lastly, I thought that the dramatic moments in this movie kind of lacked the emotional payoff that they were probably striving for. This could have been due to a number of different factors. I don't think there was enough time devoted to really connect with the characters in the movie, and I also think that given the expectations of this horror film, it's kind of difficult to establish emotional moments in many of the scenes. For instance, you'll have some scenes where the father and daughter have a heart-to-heart conversation, and in my mind, I really don't care because of the timing of the conversation just doesn't feel right. I mean, look, if killer alligators are trying to eat you, you're in the middle of a Category 5 hurricane, and that's the moment when you want to have a heart-to-heart about past family drama, I mean, okay, so be it, I guess. Anyway, let's get to the reason.
The reason.
Crawl is a fantastic disaster movie with a bunch of nerve-wracking alligators. I thought that this film had the right formula to make this horror work. When you combine a natural disaster, scary predators, confined spaces, and all that through a personal human lens, you probably got a really solid movie on your hands. Now, I'm not gonna say that Crawl is gonna give a classic movie like Jaws a run for its money, but I can totally see how this movie hits on many of the similar factors that made Jaws a hit. And I'll fully admit, when I saw the trailers for Crawl, I really thought that this was gonna be like some sort of B movie that was gonna go straight to streaming services or something. But thankfully, this wasn't like Sharknado with alligators or something, and I was pleasantly surprised with how good this movie was. So when it comes to the rating for Crawl, I've gotta give it a 7 out of 10. It really does keep you on the edge of your seat with all the twists and turns and the constant danger that's always present. I do think that Crawl would have been an instant hit had it debuted on Netflix or something, but it can easily be just as entertaining if you make it a matinee watch too. So feel free to check out Crawl and have some fun with it. So have you seen Crawl already? Were you like me and were you kind of surprised at how good it was? Let me know what you thought about the movie in the comments below. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. You guys know I always appreciate it. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.